Welcome to Science Rocks! I'm Jennifer Swanson, author of over 45 books about science for kids just like you. I love science because it tells us how things work. And today we're going to talk about science and sports. Did you know that in order to play sports, you actually need to understand science? It helps. It definitely helps. So this episode of Science Rocks is going to be about my book, The Secret Science of Sports, published by Black Dog and Leventhal. And today we're going to learn how to use science to throw like a pro. So what you'll need first are some supplies. As you can see, I have a bunch of balls sitting in front of me. I have a football, tennis balls, a baseball, a little mini soccer ball. All of those are great to use to practice throwing outside. If you're inside the house, you might want to use something more like a little kind of fluff ball or even a cotton ball. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the forces that act on a ball as you throw it. Once you understand these forces, then you will be able to throw like a pro too. Okay, so the first force that acts on a ball is the most important one and probably one you already know. It's called gravity. Gravity is the force that acts on us and pulls us to the ground as we're on the earth. It acts on pretty much everything, especially a ball. Okay, we're gonna do this simple experiment to see how gravity works. When I hold the ball up, what's it gonna do? Drop to the ground. Is that what you guessed? You were right. So when I throw the ball upwards, what's it also gonna do? Come back to earth. Very good, yes. So that is a very important force that happens to a ball as you throw it up and down, but it also happens to a ball when you throw it from side to side or when you throw it to another person. So for this part of the experiment, you might need a friend. And I happen to have one with me. This is Annabelle. Wave to everybody, Annabelle. So what I want to show you, and this is what you're gonna do with your friend, is we're gonna throw the ball, and I want you to watch as it's thrown because you'll see that the ball actually goes into a curve. And what is pulling the ball into that curve is gravity is pulling. It is a force that's acting on the ball as it comes back to the earth. Are you ready? Try tossing the ball to your friend. There you go, toss it back. Good job. Did you see how the ball curved? At the very top of the curve, that's called the apex, but the entire time gravity is pulling down on this ball as it goes. Let's try one more time, practice that. Good job. Awesome. So that's the first force. Now the second force that you want to think about when you're throwing a ball is actually what we would call thrust in a plane, or the force behind the throw like this. A really hard throw, because the harder you throw, the more force you put behind it, and the farther it will go. I want you to practice this. Be very gentle with your friend though. Make sure you don't throw it too hard. Are you ready? Good job. There you go. Did you hear that? I don't know if you could hear that, but when I caught it, she threw it so fast and so hard that it actually bounced into my hand and made a sound. Let's try this again. We'll watch the force of the throw. Perfect. Good job. So that's another force that's very important to know when you're throwing a ball. A third force that you sometimes have to think about is called drag. And drag is really only a big effect on a windy day like this. And what happens is as the ball moves forward through the air, drag pushes backwards. It is a force that pushes back on the ball. Let's see if we can tell what the force of drag looks like. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. There, perfect. So if we can show the arrows, then we will have the drag pushing back on the ball as it goes through the air. Let's try one more time. Perfect. Okay, one final force that you need to think about is lift. And lift is a force that's kind of in the opposite of gravity. So it actually keeps the ball going up more even though the gravity is pulling it to the ground. And the way this works in sports is usually a golfer or a tennis player will hit the ball in such a way that they put like a backspin on it. So the ball spins backwards like this, which makes it go higher. Or if they put a front spin on it, then it makes it curve down slower. Exactly like that. Lift is really important when it comes to football. Why? Because you want this football to fly really, really far. And so the surface area underneath the football actually gives you a little bit more lift than, say, a tennis ball, because see, it's a lot bigger under here. And also, the football is shaped in such a way like this, it is called aerodynamics. So it goes through the air a lot faster without the drag. You want to give this one a try? Here we go. Good job. And there we go. So the last part that's really important to know when you're playing catch with your friends is how to aim. And usually if you throw it high, it'll come down faster. If you throw it straight across and throw it harder, it'll go straight. And sometimes people want to go up and throw it like that. So we're going to demonstrate all of those. First, we're going to throw it high. Good job. Then we're going to throw it straight. And then we're going to throw it underhand. Perfect. So make sure that when you're throwing the ball that you aim properly by taking into account what angle you're throwing it at. Now, I have one final challenge for you. If you really want to have a lot of fun and put all of these forces together, then what I want you to do is get your friend, go outside this time and practice having him or her run and throw the ball. And see if you can get to where they're going, just like you are doing playing football or maybe playing soccer. And I want you to throw it really far. Here we go. And then see if they can throw it back. So I hope that you learned that forces are a very important thing in sports, and that if you learn all about them, then you can actually become a better athlete and you can throw like a pro. Now, don't forget to check out my book, The Secret Science of Sports, because there's tons of activities in this book with many different sports that you can play. And if you do the challenge and you've learned some other forces in some of the games that you play, make sure you leave a comment in the bottom of the video because we would love to hear you. Have a great day, and don't forget, science